I've been at Uber now 5 years. It's partnerships and business development out and out, and focusing more on fintech over the years, and now doing payments in APAC, which is across three broad verticals. Focusing on acceptance and disbursement partnerships, where we look at making sure that the money movement is compliant and is flowing as the customers and the drivers expect on both sides of the platform. Regulatory standpoint, as you can imagine, given different countries have different requirements, and partnering with the government or our processors has been key. And we're also growing or evangelizing our own brand of financial products. Very nascent, I would say, in APAC. We mostly focus on stored value or gift cards, and then say instant payouts or the likes for our term. I don't think Asian banks are in any way, shape, or form, behind their Western peers. I think the consumer's tech savviness has created opportunities for banks to deliver new innovations. We all know about how behemoths like Alipay and WeChat Pay have scaled to like a billion active customers or 700 million active customers. So I think those hurdles have been removed, and now the real sort of transformation which is happening is taking place at a larger extent maybe in Asia. Banks are partnering with fintech startups everywhere. Thailand, Kasikorn Bank and Grab have teamed up to launch GrabPay. The region Asia as such has proven to be a fertile ground for development of not just these kind of innovations, but like digital banking overall, right? Is just begun. It's not something that I see slowing down. Even in the core sort of technology architecture, to compete with, say, the big tech companies on speed and productivity or consumer experience. The core tech is evolving for banks, and they've invested a lot in that. They've transformed that gradually. The modular applications or the microservices supporting specific use cases, onboarding, approval of applications, so on, have been updated. The architectural designs are changing. In terms of the analytics that they look at, it's a cornerstone of superior customer experience, right? And I think many banks now are focused on data, and just the big data movement has changed that perspective a lot. Commonwealth Bank is Australia built a customer engagement pipeline that sort of analyzes maybe a 20 billion or 30 billion data points to generate 40 million offers each month. Banking jobs are being evaluated to combine sort of the reskilling, the whole change in the core DNA and the workforce of the future, and the remote work aspect, and how we're looking at that is very unique. So I think all of those aspects will continue, and I think the transformation is really happening in APAC. Just the last 2-3 years, I think there have been changes nobody could expect, and I think I'd be happy if the changes slow down a little bit. But it's going to be a lot of innovation in many different areas. First one obviously is digitization, right? We think that digitization or the cashless society, as I mentioned, is something that is happening or has happened to a large extent. But there are markets, and there's just from a global perspective, there is a very high dependence on cash. Even in a lot of the developed markets, will sort of become more digitized as still more people join the internet, more people get access to smartphones, and more people sort of start transacting on a smartphone. It started out with the larger ticket items, and then sort of gradually moved into everyday daily use cases with platforms like Grab or Uber, and now it's becoming like even more penetrated into like groceries or even smaller ticket items, maybe just a few stationery items or something like that. This delivery has expanded. Alternative payments, and you can think about digitization being powered by, say, card schemes and the global scale they have, and the global reach they have, and the consistency they have across merchants. I think alternative payments are unique to every market. They are built for specific markets, and they focus on the user behavior and needs for a specific market. So I think they are now driving the change as such for, say, the daily use cases, or thinking about getting even more penetrated into what a person uses their physical wallet for, and completely removing that aspect and making it digitized. Alternative payments are local by nature to a large extent, but that, I think, depth is only possible when you build for a certain region. What the combination of these two sort of trends, the digitization and alternative payments, and moving money on the internet, does actually is a unique thing. It changes business model. They expect value-added services, customer onboarding, credit lines, just the whole end-to-end facilitation is the hand-holding is at a different level, and I think that's only going to increase. And you will see how that impacts just the business models of, say, banks or overall the industry. I think crypto is in its infancy right now in terms of acceptance. It's just starting out, and still it has very, very high scale. So you can imagine what's going to happen over the next, say, decade or so. But I do think that from a technological standpoint, what crypto will do, or DApps, decentralized web 3.0 will do, will be very, very interesting to see. Depth of digitization through alternative payments or through cryptocurrencies, the rise of digital currencies for nations or for the globe, change in business models for banks, which is already pinching them a little bit. But I think all of this will create an environment where the challenger banks or the digital banks will actually have, I mean, a lot of them do exist and are inching towards profitability, but they're in no shape or form I think the dominant force, or even a threat in terms of how they've scaled up to the incumbents today. I think that is going to change. I think there's going to be a lot of rationalization in the way banking is structured as such, and I do think the overall pie is going to expand. So there are going to be no losers, but just the optionality and the expanse of all of these new technologies will create a very, very different kind of a bank, or a different kind of a language for money that people trust and people engage with. I think cash will also grow. I think BNPL will also grow, but at the end of the day, the core authority that people sort of go to a bank and sort of place their trust and place the money in the bank, and like those habits, behavior changes very, very slowly. I think those habits and that aspect will get completely revised, and I can see that happening already. You can see digital banks ramping up, and they've scaled up already. What their P&L looks like, is it profitable, is yet to be sort of tested and proven out. But I do think that it's going to happen with a combination of scaling up of alternative and cryptocurrencies, and especially how the business models will change. Important aspect of any platform as such is the community, I think, and the kind of content that you have around it, and I think in some ways the content shapes the community and the community shapes the content. I think those two go hand in hand. So I think that's the most valuable aspect of being part of a community of experts, and being able to share your perspective, just the thought and the way people think. I think that's very unique. The breadth of that is very vast, especially here, and it's unique, I think, to payments overall. But yeah, I think those are the things which I value the most. And well, I will definitely be talking about things that impact marketplaces a lot, which is alternative payments. I think it has created a huge disruption and innovative and exciting.